Hey everybody, Calier here. You're watching the Picking a Daisy show. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're having a fabulous day here in Fair Oaks, California. We're right, it's a part of Sacramento. Look at the sun, and the sky is clear. We don't have any fires going on right now. But even a full cup of coffee, and it's still warm. Look, can you see the steam coming off of it? It's not going to be warm for long. But even more awesome. I mean, a beautiful day, full cup of coffee, air that you can breathe. The Model C. Look at that. From 1910. These were made between 1910 and 1914. As you guys might know, and you yourself may be a big fan of 1914. That's when World War One started. So if you're a history buff and uh, study World War One, then this is a really neat gun because it was made right before, or kind of like as it was all brewing, and then 1914 um, was the last run of these particular guns. I'm hoping that you can see some of the. It's hard to read, even. Let's see if we can do it this way. Yeah, it's very hard to read, even um, with my own eyes and glasses on. This might be a little easier to catch. The Daisy, there it is. And that's on both sides. Yeah, maybe we'll create a white box or something someday, so it's easier to see these things. Now this is a nickel plated. Um, it doesn't. It has some kind of rust pitting, but no real rust. I'd say the biggest issue, and you're probably not going to find this on any of the guns, is it's a little wobbly. The stock is just a little wobbly, and that's because these are rivets, and you can't tighten it up. The wood shrinks as it as it gets older, right? So there's a good chance that you probably will not find one with a stock that isn't loose. Um, Now this is a break barrel, and the first Daisy is 1880, 1886. Where's one of my Daisy products where it has the number? But the first ones were top poppers, where they cocked from the top. Um, of course, the Markham was sort of a break barrel, and then perhaps a side lever, maybe under lever. They were going with different designs, uh, and then the break barrel was quite popular for a while. So they made a good amount of break barrels. Now, what else can I tell you about this? Um, they were making lever guns by now, right? 1910 specifically. So, Model C, this is called the Model C, 1910. But they also were making a Model B lever gun. And they were also by around 1913, 1914, they were also making the Model H, again, a lever gun. So they were making lever guns. Um, Strangely, their Model B is a lever gun, Model C is a break barrel. there's no reference, or I know not, or nor have I ever seen a Model A, but we got a Model B, a Model C. Don't think there was a Model D. There was a Model E, but it wasn't a Daisy. So E, no Model F that I know of, and then a Model H. I have no idea what the naming conventions, where the logic comes from. So if you know, hey, share the knowledge, would you? Okay, what else can I say? These were, pre-1930s, these were made to shoot, all the daisies, all the BB guns were made to shoot lead pellets, not the steel that we typically shoot these days. My guess is that the steel isn't hard enough to deal with a steel BB. So if you have an older gun, pre-1930s, the common wisdom is, from online, is that you shouldn't use steel BBs, because the metal just isn't made to shoot steel on steel. Maybe the metal or steel isn't hard or as hard as the modern steel. I don't know. So, if you know, there's some information you could share with us as well, or we'll look into it, right? So, 1914, let's just say this could have been made 1910, and it certainly wasn't made after 1914. And this must have really been at the top of the brake barrels that they were making before they really kind of switched to underlevers. Now with the Model 100, or the number 100 rather, they kept making those all the way out into the 1950s, or further, or perhaps, I don't know. So that would be interesting to see if, I don't have a Model 100. It'd be interesting to compare this against a Model 100. So one of these days I might pick up a 100 just to compare. As much as I love these old guns and whatnot, this is one I probably would trade out, and I would trade it out for like a 1914 first variant, number 25. I'd be glad. I think it would be a great trade. This is an older gun, and it's in great shape. That's where I was going with this. This Model C obviously was a great design, because even though they were making the underlevers, they were still pumping these out. And great design. We can confirm this because the thing still works like a charm. Amazing. Now I don't really shoot this much. I really I don't really collect a lot of these earlier guns just because of that. They you have to shoot lead pellets, and the lead pellets, these are vintage, right? You've probably seen these if you ever if you look online. And this is the number 2. Now I was told the number 6 shot is the right shot from this, and I've even read it a few times, but I don't know what they're talking about. I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't even know who they are, but again, internet wisdom, right? So this is the number 2. I noticed these are just slightly bigger, at least appear to be slightly bigger than the 177 caliber. And so that really does fit the description of what these were supposed to shoot. So yeah, I'm probably gonna try to pick a little bit, some more of these up. But if I can, I have a little trap here. So I'm going to be shooting at this, and it will trap. I've got a towel inside here, and it will trap the BB. And I'm hoping that the cardboard won't disfigure the lead BB. We'll see. Let's see, what else can we say about this? 1914, things were really good, and then, well, prosperity got as high as it could before the war started. Essentially, I don't know if you know much about World War I, but essentially there were just too many people that were underemployed or even unemployed, people rushing into the cities. So they pretty much needed to start a war and put those people to use. That's my version of it. So, of course, I wasn't there. So, I am a history buff, and it seems to be that that's the case. I'm sure there are other versions of the story, right? Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if this is even possible, but we got some good light here. You might be able to. Oh yes, the leaves. Gotta put a little piece of paper in there to keep them from rattling around and damaging the tube. This particular shot tube of BBs is in incredible condition. This comes from Winchester Repeating Arms. Again, number 2 pack. So I'm just gonna see if I get one out and compare them. Now, I'm sure you're not really able to discern the sizes there, but it really does appear to me to be that this is just slightly larger. I'll even switch them around. Now, I could be wrong. They might be the same exact size, because when I switch them around, the one furthest away looks larger, but that could be an optical illusion. Side to side, yeah. However, regardless of the size, this is lead, and so I don't, I feel good about shooting this, even if it is the same size as the 177. The shot that's supposed to go at this is just slightly larger. So let's get to work on that. This is a top loader. How many shots? Let's put 1, 2, 3. Let's do 5 shots. 5 shots. Now this is a removable shot tube, unlike the newer ones. Right, the newer daisies don't really have the removable shot tubes. I've not even tried to remove the shot tube. My guess is you probably can remove the shot tube, but they're not designed to be removed. I guess that's the best way to say it. All right, we've got 5 in there. Put these aside. Remember, always pick up some Pell gun oil. Keep your guns nice and oiled, and use a good quality oil. That's my public service announcement for you today. All right, let's put this back. All right, here we go. I think I'll bring you back here with me. I'll bring my coffee back here too. Okay, there's our target. So we break barrel. See, I'm kind of holding it more from here so that it doesn't, you know, even put more stress. Trying to put as less stress on here as possible when I cock it. Okay. And also, probably got to turn it this way. There we go, so it loads. One, we actually put it in there. There we go. Let's see how it goes. Now let me see. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're about 8 to 10 feet away. Now this can shoot out further, but I want to capture the BBs. Oh, that's quite nice. As I've said before, these don't necessarily aren't as quiet as the new ones. Ooh, where's the bouncer? That's 2. Ooh. That one came right back to us. That's 3. Remember. Now with the wobbly stock, as you're trying to well, and there is, along with those stock wobble, there's a little bit of wobble in the barrel as well. And I find that every break barrel I've come across so far has not been tight. They've all been kind of loose. They're over 100 years old. Makes sense. Okay, let's see. It's not hitting so powerfully that they go through. I think only 1 or 2 have actually gone through. I think this is the last shot, right? Let's see, we'll do it this way. Ooh, see that? That's the dieseling. So we're gonna drop some oil down this barrel for sure after this. Well, that's not bad. Let me see, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we got 1 more left, don't we? Now let's double check. Yeah, I'm holding it upright so that way, man, look at the dieseling. That's incredible. All right, last shot. Okay, that was 5. We're empty. 1, 2. I think we got a double. I think that's what happened there. This is a twofer. The first shot and perhaps the last shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's not too bad a grouping. Now this does shoot powerful enough to hit out at about 20 yards. 20 yards. I'm looking for that one last BB. Okay, we might have lost 1, but we still were able to recover 2. So that is the Model C. Pretty neat. I'm sure if I shot it up in the air just right, I'd be able to hit out at 50 yards. But that's not what this is all about. I didn't buy this as a shooter, although I did want to make sure that it shoots. and that it functions as well as it should for its age. And this might have been as well as it ever functioned, um, to hit a tin can out at, uh, you know, 10 yards or something, right? Perhaps even to be used indoors, right? Shooting uh, soft targets in order to perhaps capture the the, the lead BBs. Now, let me get those for you here. Now, my concern, of course, is that when these get shot, that they get disformed or disfigured. But I gotta say, it doesn't look too bad because they might not be getting hit that hard. So I'll probably observe these a little closer to see how well they roll, and maybe I'll separate them from the other lead ones just in case they are disfigured. So that is the Model C, guys. Really cool. Um, you know, all of the guns from essentially, I would say from about 1933 on out are sort of designed and made to be shot, you know, with the steel BBs. And they're all in pretty good shape. Usually the lead is, as long as they've been kept oiled, or if they have new seals on them, they tend to shoot just fine. Maybe the springs don't seem to go all that weak on these vintage guns, and the spring is pretty much the power. It cocks the piston, right? So yeah, really neat stuff, you know. Yeah, the history behind these older guns, and that they're still affordable online. That, you know, somebody like myself that really doesn't have a, you know, a big budget to work with, um, can even get involved and you know, own something like this. And you know, in most places in the United States, most places maybe even in the world, I would say maybe, uh, you're allowed to have these, whereas firearms, of course, are more restricted depending on where you're at. In most parts of the world, firearms are pretty heavily restricted, right? But if you're like me and you just like to plink, you just like hitting a tin can out in the backyard, so to speak, you know, then these are the best guns in the world. Of course, modern day, the uh, the Daisy 105B, the Daisy Buck 105B, is without a doubt the best modern day gun in the world. It's inexpensive, it's accurate, it's built well, it's still made of some materials other than plastic. It has, the new guns have a little bit of plastic on them, but in all the right places. Sure, I wouldn't mind having a new gun where they made it all steel, and maybe they'll do that. I think Daisy is going to be seeing a resurgence in their popularity. So, um, you know, or maybe somebody at the Daisy Museum will put out some limited edition all steel guns, perhaps mimicking some of their flagship guns, or the guns of significance. Um, you know, I feel this is kind of significance because by the time they were making these, they really got that brake barrel thing down. Like they got um, the 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 metal underneath the seam right here, where the piston is. Yeah, that's the under barrel weld they hear about on. I think all the way up until the 1930s they were doing this, using this. But yeah, they really had it down by about now, and then they started really putting a lot of effort into the lever guns after this. So sort of like the 155 kind of represents the end of a particular era and the beginning of another. I think the Model C represents that as well. Sort of the beginning of the end of the brake barrel. Now they made the 104. Uh, they made some Daisy double barrel brake barrels, right? Essentially 225s put together to make a double barrel. Those are just ridiculously expensive, and I do not have one of those yet. We've got the toy Quirk gun double barrel, toy Quirk, uh, and I love those. They're cool. I wouldn't mind picking up a few more of those, especially for the ones from Rogers, Arkansas. But this is just a single shot, or not a single shot, it's a repeater. The amount of shots, oh boy, here I go. I think, don't quote me on this, I think it might be about 350 shots for this. But it is a repeater. It even says Daisy Repeater Model C on there from Plymouth, Michigan, with some patent numbers. They didn't serial these, of course. Serials weren't really put on until I think the 1950s, if I'm not mistaken. So, a pretty crude trigger, cast iron trigger. The rest of this is, I believe sheet metal, yeah, and nickel plated sheet metal. I can almost hear what you're saying. Come on, couple more shots. Yeah, all right, couple more shots. Because I'm gonna clean this up and then put it in the safe and grab the next. Yeah, this might be the last chance we get. Shoot this. I might not bring this out in another year, right? So, all right, 3 more shots. Let's just do that. 3 more shots. Just for you guys. Or gals. You know, there was a 5th round in there. It just didn't load. Okay. Hey, there's a lesson for you. Don't ever assume that these are unloaded. Even if you put 5 in and you shot 5, in our case, we assumed we got a double. That wasn't. That was just 4. So 1 actually did stay in there. And even after shaking around a little bit, nothing. But now, hear it? Yeah. So there we go. I hope we're back. Assume you know how many are in here. Never assume that this is ever unloaded. Ever. Okay? Promise me. Okay. I'm going to get adventurous and put my coffee down there. And I'm going to, well, these are ricocheting. So they're ricocheting at low velocity and they're being hit. We're hitting a soft target, wood or a tree. Then that BB would really come back at a pretty decent velocity. Now, probably at the velocity of these shoot, usually somewhere between 200 and 300 feet per second. It's probably not going to even hurt, let alone injure you. But that's why we wear eye protection, because if it hit you in the eye, well, that would be problematic now, wouldn't it? So don't shoot at hard stuff at close range. If you're hitting far out at steel targets, then and as long as no one else is around, no animals, no humans, and no property that could be damaged, especially like glass or anything. Okay, so we're all clear on how you should use these things, right? Oh man, I'm gonna have to search for those. That's one. Look at that D-sling. Boy, that's two. That is three. And they are all just ricocheting. So, you know, we're probably talking more somewhere in the 200 feet per second range with this. Again, I'm guessing one of these days we'll bust. When I bust out again, will probably be when I Karate all the guns. I've been introducing all the guns first. I've only run a Karate on one gun, which is the number 25, the new Chinese 25, just because I had to see what the velocities were on that. But I won't be doing chronographs on the daisies until I've pretty much introduced the whole collection, and then we'll go back and do things like comparisons and cronies and accuracy type of tests. So let's see what we got here. Ready to go? Did we cock it? Oh, all right. I think that was 4, but we're not sure. Let's shoot one more. Okay, empty, but we don't assume that it's empty. There might be one lodged in there somehow. You know, very easy for with these, for one to maybe get lodged in between a piece of metal that's in there, and then it will be lodged loose when you put other BBs in. Also, if there's excess oil, that could make a BB stick to the side of the barrel and not load in, and then only later get unlodged unstuck from the oil and go in there. So again, never ever shoot this at another human being or an animal, and don't ever assume that it's empty, right? So what I mean by that is a lot of times you might just be joking around, you cock it and you shoot it at somebody thinking you're joking around, thinking that it's empty, and then really bad things happen. So never assume that these things are empty, right? Only if you took it apart, took the shot tube out, you know, really were able to look inside the whole mechanism. Only then could you verify that these things, I swear there's one in there. It sounds like, but that could just be part of the shot tube moving around. It's one more shot just to see. That's it. All right. I still hear something in there, but we don't know what it is, and we'll always assume that it might be. Wow, that's really dieseling a lot. Can you see that? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, certainly subscribe and like it and share it and all that fun stuff. You can also check out more of the Cali Air collection at pickingadaisy.com. Picking a Daisy is also on Facebook and also on Instagram. So if you are on those social medias, come on by and say hi and subscribe and all that fun stuff if you're so inclined. And yeah, look at that Winchester. We got to shoot the Winchester lead air rifle shot number 2. Okay, I think that's it for today. Yes. Now to go on to the next exciting thing. All right, I will see you next time. Thanks for stopping by, and remember, safety. Shoot safe, buddy. That's it, right? That's the button. Shoot safe, buddy.